Today we will be going over our Korean chicken and waffles.
Korean cuisine, its flavors and colors are what highlight the Korean cuisine. And I think today's delicious dish really touches on the sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and hot. And when I talk about hot, I'm talking spicy and temperature.
So with this dish, we have a few different components. We have a waffle. In this case, we're just gonna do your standard Belgian waffle. There's other variations of this waffle that we would be able to do, basically utilizing that same Belgian mix, but then introducing some of the Korean style vegetables such as kimchi to that batter and making that waffle that way. So we have our basic Belgian style waffle. We will have a classic fried chicken, and then we'll be making a Korean style sauce to then toss that chicken inside. So first things first, let's start with the sauce while our oil for the chicken is heating up. So this sauce, like I was mentioning before, has some chili, but we're using a garlic sweet chili sauce. So it's gonna have a little bit of heat, a little bit of spice, but really no more than say black pepper. So it's really not gonna make you sweat. If you're sensitive to it, well, it might make you sweat. So first we wanna start with a pan. We have our pot, and then we gotta put a little oil. So in this sauce, we have sesame seeds. So these sesame seeds we want to put in, and we want to lightly toast these first. So while this is toasting, we also have that garlic sweet chili sauce. We also have some brown sugar, some scallions, sesame oil, and ginger. Alright, so we'll let this start to toast.
And as a registered dietitian, I just love the fact that this recipe includes ginger. Ginger is not only an extremely popular dietary condiment used for flavor, but it has been used for thousands of years as a medicinal herb to treat a variety of ailments. Scientific studies are really focusing on ginger as an antioxidant, an anti-nausea agent, and anti-cancer agent too. Ginger also appears to lower cholesterol and increase lipid metabolism to help with cardiovascular disease and diabetes.
I will then add our minced ginger. We'll let this simmer for about a minute. Sauce is looking good. Can we smell that sesame yet?
Yes.
Alright.
Delicious.
So the sauce really doesn't take too much. So now I'll turn off the heat as it's boiling. And then I'm just gonna add our sliced scallions. So as our sauce sits and awaits its chicken, we will then start on making our fried chicken. So we can use a couple different cuts of chicken. You can use whichever you prefer. Today we'll be using a leaner cut chicken breast. Skin has been taken off. And with that, so has anybody heard of a tempura batter? So that's essentially what we're going to be making. So in this mixing bowl, I have pre-measured out flour and cornstarch, salt and pepper. And then our liquid is going to be some ginger ale, another ginger factor. You can also use just straight club soda.
It's that ginger. I love the shape.
So the reason why we have some cornstarch in here is that it's going to actually help with the crispiness of the skin of the fried chicken. Yes. So as it starts getting closer, it starts to kind of turn into this very sticky kind of like paste. You don't want it too sticky like this. You will want it to be a little bit runnier than that. So all you have to do is add a little bit more liquid. And at this point, you want to add very little at a time. So that way you don't over order.
Today we're actually featuring chicken in this Korean style dish. And I say Korean style because protein foods that are typically eaten in Korea include fish, shellfish, beef, and soybeans.
Right now it's getting that beautiful consistency that we're looking for. So now you can see that it's running kind of like pancake batter a little bit. Not too thick. Okay. Now that we have our tempura batter for our chicken, our oil is looking like it's hot enough. And since we're going into a liquid, we want to throw it into a dry dredge first. This is cornstarch and a little bit of flour, salt, and pepper. What this is going to do is help adhere this tempura batter to the chicken and not let go. So after it's been cooked, typically if this step has been skipped, all that beautiful crust that you've created will just fall right off and not stay on your chicken. So make sure all that excess is off. Be careful. Put it into the tempura batter. That excess strip off. Yeah. Okay. We are going to do waffles. Nothing too crazy about this. So like I had mentioned earlier, we can add different ingredients to this waffle batter to give it more of a savory feel. Okay, I'll flip it over. So this chicken, depending on the size, will take anywhere between 6 and 8 fries. So if you can see, half the chicken is in the oil, the top half is not. So just a pan fry.
About 3 cups, maybe 2 or 3 cups?
In this size pot, yes, about 3 cups.
It looks about like 3 cups of oil in this, but as he mentioned, he's doing a shallow fry.
You know, this is our beautiful waffle. Alright, our chicken is just about there. So, now it's time to assemble. Actually, alright, so once we have our chicken straight out of the fryer, it's drained a little bit, we're going to throw it into a bowl so that way we can toss it in this beautiful sauce that we just created. So like chicken wings, you toss it in a hot sauce. In this case, you could use a bigger bowl for this.
I heard you.
So now that we've got that,
These are going to be featured items in May.
now we have. So in this case, I am going to garnish it with some kimchi. So kimchi is a salted and fermented vegetable, Korean style vegetable. It is a staple. Imagine it being like coleslaw. So within this coleslaw, you're going to have typically like half a cabbage, different style cabbages, some more chilies, garlic, ginger, and then it's just salted. So it's pressed with salt and then rinsed. It's done a few different times, and then you jar it up and that you let sit for a few days up to however long you'd like. Now, that's where you get the fermented spot. It's not fermented like alcohol, so it's more just salted. So if you like cabbage, it's definitely a beautiful style. So with this, another condiment that we would have with this is sriracha honey. So some sriracha sauce with some honey. So this is where you'll get that little balance from that little bit of heat and sweet. And then we'll garnish this with some fresh scallion as well. So this is the Korean Chicken and Waffles. So as far as this Korean waffle, we can do different variations. There could be pickled cucumbers, pickled carrots, different side condiments that would accompany this beautiful fried chicken and waffle. So this is something that we will be serving or offering as well in the next month, along with the sweet ones with the cream. Yes.
How much salt, sodium is in that?
So how much salt or sodium is in this? Not very much, to be honest. I didn't add any extra, there's no soy. I added a little bit of salt for the kimchi. So the kimchi is where you would have majority of your sodium. This sauce right here, we didn't add any extra salt. So that sweet garlic chili sauce has enough balance in it. That's really where majority of your sodium would be coming from in this dish. So not very much. I would leave the kimchi off.
I have the numbers.
The
So
dietitian.
the sodium in this delicious dish is 1180 milligrams.
How many packets of salt is that?
That's a lot. That's a lot. More than a week's worth.
Yeah, I think this dish, this Korean style dish, is really a nice showing of the Korean style with the sweet, the sauce, the salty, the bitter, and of course that spicy that the Korean styles do like.
So is this something that you guys would be interested to try when we do have it on our menu? I believe it's going to be the second week of May. We'll have this style of chicken. And then the third week of May.
Then we have, the last Sunday, we have the dessert waffles. Okay.
Do you want to make a few more waffles so we can give them all a
Yeah,
sample?
definitely.
Okay. What we're going to do now, while he makes more waffles, we're going to give you all a sample of the pork carnitas that we did in the smoker over here. Okay, so while you can munch on that while he makes a few more waffles, so we can give you some of that too. All right?
So how is it? How's the waffle? Awesome. And Elaine, how's the waffle?
Waffle's good. The sauce is spicy.
Chicken's delicious.
Waffle was really good. Delicious, very good.
Carnita was good too.
Yeah,
Carnita?
it's all good. We're enjoying it.
Awesome. What?
I said I think that smoker's a good invention for her.
So what do you think of the waffle?
Yummy. Yummy.
It looks good though, right?
It was really a lot nicer than I thought it would be, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Just want to take this time to thank everybody for joining us today for our first culinary exploration. And I want to gently remind you that healthy eating is a good habit. Until next time.
Okay. All right, how was it? Did you enjoy this?
Yes.
Would you come again?
Yep.